Hello again. In William Schnell's 30 Years a Watchtower Slave, he's been talking about a personal interview he had with Rutherford, who invited him to come back to Bethel. This is all in the chapter bringing Zone 1 into line. So now he's gone back to his Zone Servant assignment in Ohio. In order to face the issue in Hubbard, we started out again on Saturdays parading with the sandwich signs. Not only were many arrested, but some were beaten, one by the police. Mobs pelted our people with vegetables. This was exactly as we wanted it, and we did not want to end it prematurely. Finally, during the week preceding the third Saturday, I had our lawyer ask the Court of Common Pleas in Warren, Ohio for a temporary injunction, pending trial for a permanent injunction. It was granted, of course. That Saturday we had no trouble, and we really were elated. The trial took place the next Monday, and the judge refused as a permanent injunction, decreeing a cooling-off period first. No journal entry was agreed upon. It was left open. In that way, the judge did not put the responsibility on the village officials. But I was determined to force the issue. I telegraphed to the judge in Brooklyn a request and received permission to call a special protest meeting of Zones 1 and 2 in Youngstown, that's Youngstown, Ohio, for the next Saturday and Sunday. These zones consisted of the Akron, Cleveland, and Youngstown areas. Mob violence raged all day long in Hubbard as thousands of witnesses flocked into Hubbard and Youngstown. This was the first showdown in the Middle West of the sanguine warfare type they had read about our having in New Jersey. Of course, everybody wanted to be in on it. On Sunday, we packed the East High School, the auditorium, the grounds, and even the streets. It was a huge success from a publicity angle, for the story carried all over Ohio. It was equally successful from a financial angle, for it gave me enough funds in the legal fund really to put up a good fight. The resolution adopted by this protest gathering had been written by the judge himself. And now, so the judge put it, you have carte blanche. This means you can do anything you want. I realized we had to get at Hubbard in another way, through their pocketbooks. Thus we decided on a two-pronged attack aimed at bringing in a permanent injunction at the end of the cooling-off period. First, we rented 7 plots of land facing as many different highways leading into Hubbard from all sides. On them, as close as possible to the roads, we had huge signs erected and stretched out bearing the message, "Hubbard, Ohio is unfair. Hubbard, Ohio is un-American." These stations were manned for 12 hours each day with publishers from the various companies of the zone. From these stations we distributed booklets and provocative pamphlets. You might say we laid siege to Hubbard, and much violence took place. As my second move, I had 32 of our people who had been arrested file civil damage suits for false arrest. I had the brother who was beaten by the police file a separate suit. The picketing kept up all the while that this move developed. The first suit excuse me. Let's start that sentence again. Just thought I had a technical blip, so don't worry about it. The first suit to come up was the one against the police chief. It was clearly evident that he had used brutality, and our strategy was to get a jury trial. We insisted that we wanted trial by jury in all of the cases. I instructed our lawyer routinely to exempt all Catholics from jury service and make a show of it. This made the Protestants who were selected feel like they had to uphold religious issues, at least so I hoped. Things looked bad for Hubbard, and our lawyers were jubilant. As the trial progressed, I sprung new instructions to the lawyers, which they did not like. I asked for a recess and a conference with the judge and the village officials. We convinced Hubbard that they might be made to pay through the nose unless I pointed out that we were not after money but wanted a permanent injunction. It worked. We got it. As our end of the bargain, we dropped all damage suits. Hubbard had been brought low, as we had intended, and the next day the picketing stopped. The judge asked me to write an account of the entire case, and it later appeared in the magazine Consolation. But many of the brethren really had it in for me now. To my surprise, they actually had wanted to collect money from Hubbard out of this. When I was faced with this realization, I was amazed. You live and learn. With the victory of getting a permanent injunction in Hubbard hours, I set out to train publishers throughout the zone in the 7 steps and to build the companies along theocratic lines. We had many flag salute cases and started our own private school for children expelled for refusing to salute the flag. I really kept things stirred up all the time. The local people were not a bit pleased with this, and I did not blame them. But they had voted away their rights of independence to the society, and they were to learn that from now on they were never to be rid of the society's eyes and ears within their midst. They were now to be made theocratic subjects, bowing to the theocracy of 1938. It was fellows like me who were assigned to put that across. Next time he talks about the Martin versus Struthers legal case. Put in a link this time to the Watchtower theocracy is really more like Babylon than it was like ancient Jerusalem and Israel. See you next time.